Assalamualaikum, I'm Umaima Kesa and I'm a dentist from Pakistan who one day sat on her bed and decided to do some research on how to apply for DDS. Now, this was the time when I had recently graduated and I was just done with the final year, so I was motivated. But as soon as I read the list of the requirements that you need to fulfill just to be eligible to apply to the dental schools, I gave up immediately. I closed all the tabs and I went to sleep. Back in my mind, I was like, "Ye mere se nahi hoga, main US nahi ja rahi. I need to think of something else." However, fast forward, my house job started, and most of you will know that house job is the time when when reality hits you, and that is when you need to decide कि अब आगे क्या करना है. So at that time, I decided that I am going to pursue DDS, and that was my dream. And it took a lot of time just to start studying for the exam, because I used to look into so many videos like this on YouTube, the one that I'm making, that how did everyone did, and I would just think भाई ये लकी थे, इनका पास हो गया, पता नहीं मेरा कैसे होगा, और इतने ज़्यादा resources हैं, मैंने कहाँ से पढ़ना है, किससे पूछूँ मैं, और कैसे होगा ये. So there were so many panic attacks, there were so many breakdowns and crying sessions, and I used to call my friends and I used to cry and I would be like, मेरे से नहीं होगा ये. However, I still stick to my goal and I took one step at a time. And then I decided that although I could not find a person who would guide me step by step and who could give me the right resources, because when I was studying, videos started to come up that INBDE has just become harder and it is tougher than ever and people were failing. For example, when the passing percentage was 75%, they would fail at 73% or 70%, and they did the resources that I was following. So I was like, ab to mushkil lag raha hai. However, so the reason I'm telling this is because it was not a garden of roses, and I had to walk through thorns, and I used to get so much discouraged. I used to be disappointed and I used to regret about this decision. But that is how it is. When you dream of something, you do regret it, you do feel bad, you do feel like you're failing and you are fooling yourself into studying something that is too far from you, because it seemed so far. It was like, pata nahi kab maine apply karne schools ke liye, aur main pata nahi kab padungi. So these are the questions that do come in your mind when you're studying or when you're moving abroad. And that is what happened to me. And now that is what I don't want to happen to you. And that is why I've created this page, so I can be that person who can guide you step by step. Because I did become that person for myself, and I found my own resources. I became my own study guide. And then when I sat in the exam and I was solving the questions, I knew 80% of the questions, and that exam was I was enjoying it and I was chilling, and I was so grateful that I did not give up, and I did this because it is extremely doable and it is so easy if you just find the right resources and you have someone genuinely telling you and helping you walking through that path. So INBDE was extremely easy for me and I loved giving that exam. That is why here I am helping you with INBDE and TOEFL, and I don't want you to walk in this path alone, because I did and I know how hard it is.